Welcome to the 5 Mistakes Magicians Make. Mistake number 1, you cannot concentrate. Contrary to what most people are going to tell you, you don't actually learn how to concentrate by simply staring at objects. It turns out someone yelling at you to focus really doesn't help either. The first step in learning how to concentrate requires you to empty your mind out from all these random thoughts that you've seemingly picked up from nowhere. Because it's those random thoughts that keep interrupting your train of consciousness and are the main reason why you can't concentrate in the first place. Now, once you simply watch these things long enough, they simply go away. And at this point, now you can actually begin to concentrate through the conventional means that most people think of by simply focusing on something in front of them. But after this happens, it turns out that's pretty hard on your concentration, which means you end up falling back and forth between this state of random thoughts and actually being able to focus. The thing that finally fixes this is learning how to empty out your mind and simply observe complete awareness. Once this happens, it essentially acts as a backup or counterbalance to your efforts to concentrate by looking at one thing intently. And at this point, you can actually concentrate. The second mistake magicians make is they don't train the body. As it turns out, the body generates a lot of energy. And this energy, in turn, can be converted into other things later on. So if you haven't bothered to train your body, well, you just don't have much energy to work with. Now, an interesting part of this is that this energy, for lack of a better word, moves via the ligaments and tendons in the body. And being able to strengthen those, in turn, makes your energy much stronger, and at the end of the day, gives you much more energy to actually work with. Which is where we get to our third mistake most magicians make, which is lacking clairsentience. Clairsentience is defined as your subtle sense of touch. Now, while a lot of people make much ado about clairvoyance and clairaudience, the simple fact of the matter is developing those skills generally takes a really long time for most people. On the other hand, clairsentience can be developed relatively quickly by learning how to touch and control energy using your hands. Now, once you have this, you can actually engage with this so-called esoteric energy in a way other than using strictly your imagination. And at this point, these energies become useful. One of the reasons why clairsentience is so easy to learn how to use is because the simple fact of the matter is you don't have much of a sense of touch without its esoteric component. Because simply put, this energy can be referred to something that can be touched but not grasped. And once you have that down, then you can go on to our fourth mistake. And this is a good one. It is never learning a power generation system. You see, one of the issues with learning esoterica writ large is that it takes a lot of some kind of energy to actually make it useful and something other than a psychological operation or a manipulation of your imagination. Now, there are many different good power generation systems out there. Going through Kundalini awakening is one of them. By using the method of the orbits is generally considered the safest way to do this. The establishment of elemental equilibrium is another way to do this, assuming it is combined with the body training method. Efforts like Shui Gung or general weightlifting are considered quite good as well, and the list goes on. Now, the simple fact of the matter is there is no real agreement on what the ultimate system of power generation is. What is agreed upon by most serious practitioners is that you simply need to have one. Otherwise, this just turns into some kind of weird out-of-body hippie trip and an exercise in your imagination. And finally, this leads to our fifth mistake magicians make, and that is failing to learn to transmute energy. You see, once you've gone through all of this effort to be able to touch energy, to build your body in order to transmit greater amounts of energy, and to be able to concentrate enough to be able to work with it directly, well, you have to learn how to change it from one form to another. Now, whether this is going up the path of enlightenment, where you go from a more solid to more ethereal or less physical energy, or down the chain of manifestation, where you go from a more ethereal form down to a more solid form, the simple fact of the matter is you are learning how to transmute energy through its various states. And you need a mechanism in order to do this. And that sums up the 5 mistakes magicians make. Hey, you, hit the subscribe button. You know, the button where you subscribe to the channel? Just hit it right now. Right now, hit the subscribe button. See you later, and be well.